Hi, this is Brian. I'm talking about putting the Fast Fire 3 from Burris onto this Glock 41 that I just picked up a week ago. This one's in gray. It has the 13 round mags of 45. It came with 3. You got your back straps that Glock gives you in gray to match the frame. So anyways, let's get right to it. The only tool we need is this Torx 10. And I'm going to use the factory screws and I'm going to follow the directions, just like Burris said. So basically they want you to keep the longer screws that come out, and they send you, if you call the 1-800 number on here, they'll send you the washers that need to go on top, the stamped star washers. They sent me 3 of them for free. You only need the 2 to take up the extra space. So let's go ahead and take this apart. Gun's clear. And I do kind of like the gray just to change it up a little bit instead of the brown or the standard black. Like this is the 19X that comes in the coyote, or whatever you want to call it, coyote brown or whatever color they're calling it. But I do kind of like the gray just to change it up. Okay, let's pull this apart. Anyways, the only tool you need is the Torx 10. And I'm just using a screwdriver so that I don't have to fiddle around with this little key that they give you, a little Torx key. So we're going to set the long screws aside. And this is the cover that's going to go back into the package when I get done. And we'll take plate number 1, is what's required for this specific Burris Fast Fire 3. Take plate number 1. And it fits perfectly. So let's go ahead and clean that. Use a little quick scrub. Get all the oil off there. Okay. Now, I'm going to take these washers and verify that this fits before I go any further and put this on there, because if you take the screws from the factory, they're too long. They will stick through about 1 millimeter when you tighten them up. That's why you need these washers. So instead of ordering different screws, I just went ahead and got the washers. So let's see if they take up the difference. And these are they don't cost you anything. It took them about 3 days to send them to me. I got an email right after I got off the phone with them, and it took about 3 days to mail them to me. Looks like they came from Colorado. So anyways, let's just verify that these are going to fit. Here's plate number 1, and I'm going to use these little star lock washers, which should take up maybe about 1 millimeter or 2. So this should make up the difference in the size. So let's go ahead and just put one in there just to see if it doesn't stick out the bottom. Oh yeah, it's nice and tight. It actually seats right down. I'm just going to put the other one in without the washer just to show you. I've seen people were complaining that the screws aren't right. But this washer makes a nice lock in there too, because it's one of those stamped out star washers. It's like a little lock washer, and it fits in there perfectly. Okay, so what we have with the reason why the longer screws won't fit, let's see if I can pick that up, is what you have right here is about 1 millimeter sticking up. That's the factory. And when you use the little lock washer, it's almost perfectly flush. It might be 1/2 of a thread down. So hopefully that picks it up. So this is why you have to use those little lock washers instead of ordering other screws. The factory screws seem to work just fine when you have the washer on there. So that's good news. So all you gotta do is call that 1-800 number. It's on the website. Just search Burris Fast Fire 3 install and it takes you directly to the page for Glock. So anyways, let's take this apart real quick. Okay, so now that that's there, we use the shorter screws that come in a pack, or what's actually going to mount the plate back onto the slide. So let me grab some Loctite. It already has a little bit of blue Loctite on there from the factory. A little dab on there, but I'm going to add just a little bit more. Okay. Set that off to the side. I'm going to work these back and forth. And these are the shorter ones that come out of the pack, are the ones that hold the plate on. Work those back and forth, very nice. Kind of hard to over tighten them with a small screwdriver like this. They just stop pretty much. You're not going to probably strip out the head of these before you actually strip the screw. And those are in there really nice and tight. Okay. And wipe that clean. Very good. And then take the sight and make sure there's no debris on the bottom. Very good. Take our other screw out of there. Alright. Verify that that fits. Oh yeah. And this thing, when you set this down on those pins, it has hardly any slop at all. You pretty much sits really nice on these 4 pins. You can see there's 4 pins on the plate and there's the 4 holes on the bottom, and these things pretty much match up almost perfectly. There is hardly any slop on there. Alright, so now we're going to take the little star washers that Burris sent to take up the extra space. Let's see if we can see that. It's just a stamped out washer, and it's kind of shaped to fit inside of the bevel in there. And then stick these screws. Actually, let me put a little bit more Loctite on there just to be safe, since I took some out. And these will help hold them in there too and lock them in place. Screws. Okay, very good. And now we use the longer ones that were in the cover, that came with the gun in the package. The screws that were actually through the cover plate. These go on with the Burris sent washers for free, no charge. Would have been nice if they would have put a few more in there instead of just one, but could imagine them getting lost easy or breaking at some point if you take this thing on and off quite a bit. I guess if you're going to use it on your AR or use the pick-me rail on a shotgun or something, you probably just have to buy a second one, because I don't know if this is all that easy to take on and off, even though they give you a nice little rail mount on here. And the little cover, the leather cover to put on it too. Okay, so let's tighten these down. Work these back and forth. And those are in there nice. Can just feel them stop. Perfect. And that did a great job. Those fit on there nice. And this thing is not going anywhere. Alright, now the first setting is auto, then you got bright, medium, low, off. So let me put it on bright, and this is the 3 ammo. Let me see if I can pick it up on the camera. This is a 3. I was going to get the 8, but I just found it might be a little bit too bright for walking around with this in the woods or target shooting for me. Anyways, there's the Fast Fire 3 using the factory screws. The ones that come in a pack. You need the 2 out of here for the adapter plate going into the slide, and you use the factory 2 that came with the cover plate on and those Burris washers. And this fits down on there perfectly. Fits right in there nice. Okay, let's put this back together. A little dirt on there. Okay. Alright, now, another thing I noticed is even with this on here, I'll show you this gun is clear too. This is my 19X to 9mm with the extended mag, and this one comes with the 2 extended mags and the 1 flush mount. So this is a 20 shot with the 1 in the chamber, and this is your 14 with 1 in the chamber, 13 in the mag, but 45 9mm. But I can tell you that there is not that much difference in the weight of these. This one has the new slimmer slide for the 45 caliber. The other ones used to be a lot chunkier. And I do like the Gen 5 grip without the finger grooves in there. It's a little bit nicer than the Gen 4. Obviously they don't make these in Gen 5 yet, or I would have picked one up. But otherwise, the weight is very balanced on both of these, but this 41 is very comfortable. And I was planning on using this mostly for target. That's why I wanted to put the sight on there. Maybe get a chest holster and use it for woods. So anyways, this is the gray 41 with the Fast Fire 3, and yes, you can use the factory screws. You just have to call Burris and get the little washers. So anyways, here's the size comparison before I shut this off. Here's the 19X, and there's the 41. And I'll take my 43 is in my pocket, and my nice little Mitch rosin pocket holster. This one is loaded. I'm not going to unload it. But here's your 9mm 43, the little 43, 45 ACP in the Glock 41, and then here's your 19X. And I've owned a lot of different Glocks, and I like the 380 also. I carry that one quite a bit, but this is my 9mm, the 43. So anyways, Fast Fire 3, I'm going to take it up to the range. I have a couple boxes of these, are the heaviest 45s that are available. Underwood makes them, and BuffaloBore makes these, and they're similar on the specs. The hard cast, flat nose, 255 grain. So those should work pretty good in here. See if we can knock this thing loose, the screws loose on there. I doubt it. Those things are in there tight. And then I've got a few 3 or 4 boxes left of the 45 auto gold dot in a 200 grain, and then I've got a whole bunch of target ammo, different Remington, the Blazer black packs, and then Federal, and then I think I have some white box Winchesters left too. So anyways, I'll take it to the range and see if we can get this thing sighted in and see how it works. I do like it. This was supposed to be on here just for fun. It's the first time I've ever put one of these red dots on a pistol. So this is just supposed to be a straight fun gun, and we'll see how it goes. I like the weight on it though. I like the weight on it. It feels very similar to the 19X. I'm sure with the 230 grains in here, but then again, this one I usually carry the Crit Duty 135 plus Ps, so I'll have to load them up and see. They're probably going to be about the same weight with 20 rounds of the 135 in 14 rounds of the 255. So we'll have to see how it goes. All right, thanks a lot. Remember, you can use the factory screws. You don't have to go out looking for them. If you buy one of these, just call the Burris number. The guy was super friendly, and he had them sent out within 3 days. All right, thanks a lot.